Anthony from Hassler's Nut here, and GameStop just isn't getting better. Even though they've gone through new CEO after new CEO, and then take a break from the CEOs, because why have a CEO? And then a new CEO, which come up with something I thought was fairly interesting. Essentially, it keeps getting worse. After this most recent report, and you can find the link, of course, at the top here if you can see it, and I will post it in the description here. But essentially, Polygon reports that the financials, which you can also find on the GameStop website in the corporate section, they've fallen an additional 25% over the course of last year, and as a result, they are closing over. I have the exact number here. They're closing 55 stores currently in the process of being closed right now, some of which started last year in December. So if you read the article, it tells you how the breakdown of how it's been slowly going down, and it's under $5 a share right now, and etc. etc. And this is an ad. Ignore the ad. But check out the article, and it gives you a general idea of what's happening. So then a BlogSpot. Somebody posted the list of the stores closing, and so here they are. Now, right now, you can go to most of these stores up to 70% off, and I have a number of friends who live in these areas and told me that it's just spectacular, but it's also weird. It's kind of like, if you may remember when Toys R Us was closing back in 2017, and you go to Toys R Us and it's kind of gutted. It is the same situation. For a number of these stores have been here for as long as GameStop has been GameStop, previously, FuncoLand and other stores. But so you see the whole list here, and again, I'll include the link to this BlogSpot page in the description. Now, surprisingly to me, none of Ohio stores are listed, but they had already closed down at least one store in my area in the end of 2018 when things started getting bad. So So I'll tell you a couple of things. I actually told John on Spawnwave of this back in April and August of 2019. There's just a whole bunch of things that I've learned. I don't consider myself a speculator or analyst, I should say, but I've actually been dead on everything. Just basically on trends. Now, I say this with, yes, I do have a master's degree. Yes, it was in business, and yes, we did study this stuff. So I kind of was like, well, this seems to be the trend. Here's where we're going. So the first thing I told John over at Spawnwave, some of which he never even used, which now you look back and go, oh, well, I guessed right, included GameStop will be closing a number of underperforming non-prestige stores that fall under some criteria such as sales and proximity to other prestige stores. Check, and here's the proof. The given number was up to 25%. I did not look up how many stores GameStop has now, but let's say between 2019's 200 stores and 2020's 55 stores, that's 255 stores. But it did include the one store in the area here that has been gone for a while now. They also had created a policy that says if the store is too small to support merging of ThinkGeek merchandise, they would close it. Which we believe, other than a little underperformance on the sales department, the store was almost making $1 million a year, but it was a small open mall store, so they really couldn't throw ThinkGeek in there. So we think that's the reason why it went. And ThinkGeek, the merchandising, especially for games like Pokemon and stuff, merchandising is the thing that sells. So, then we were told, okay, well, they're also going to tell their CSRs, their customer service reps, to push more memberships. So I don't know if you've seen that now, because I mean, at least the guys in my area are kind of like, if they know you, they're not going to push it on you, especially if they know you already have it. But originally they were going to do multi-tiered, and I think they tried it for a little while, multi-tiered memberships. Well, they scrapped that and changed up the memberships at the end of last year, and then you may have received the email recently from GameStop saying, hey, you have a $5 reward certificate for February in your mailbox because the new GameStop Pro plan is you get a $5 membership or $5 gift card used at the store, which is their hope is, of course, get bodies into the store to spend this $5. So then they also talked about automated CSRs, basically tablets on just by the entrance or on the wall next to the cash wrap, where you could basically do what now you could do at Taco Bell and McDonald's. Go in, pick the stuff you want, wait a few minutes, and the store employees will grab your stuff and ring you out. Or if maybe you rang out in the CSR. It actually apparently was in some test markets. I haven't heard any more since the middle of last year. They cut the hours at each store. You might have gone into a store and remember there was a whole bunch of employees there. Now you see 3. It's typically the lead, the assistant lead, and there's senior game advisors, SGAs. That's the word, because you don't really see regular game advisors anymore. Because they've cut the hours. The store lead is salaried. Everybody else is hourly. So then they also created a more strict limit on opening and closing. So the leads, the SGAs, the assistant lead, they have to be in the store 15 minutes before opening and 15 minutes after closing. They have to be out. There is no exceptions. But that also includes, for example, when they do the minute releases, once the half hour is over, you're out. You know, so they do have that little bit of flexibility. But I also come to find out that Nintendo doesn't allow midnight early releases. So, you know, what you can do. But thinking or adding to that, found out recently Sony pulled digital content from GameStop. So if you were looking to go pre-order digital versions of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, you can't. I found out the hard way when I actually went in and tried to do that. I ended up having to get the Xbox version, which sucks because I actually prefer certain games to be on the PlayStation and others to be on the Xbox, but whatever. The other bad part is you kind of lose out on some of the pre-order bonuses. So that little bit sucks, especially when my only options, the Xbox, which I have a digital version, and so I was kind of typecasted into it. It's just a very weird situation. I don't like it, but then again, Nintendo doesn't offer digital stuff anyway, and I feel like this is the way the stores are going. Now you can still get the what are those membership cards for the XBLA and for PlayStation Network and for Nintendo Network, and you can still get the point cards, you know, so you can get your 20, 15, 10, whatever onto your account, and they're probably going to keep those for a long time, but those were something that gets you into the store, and a lot of people do have a problem with making purchases online, so they would prefer going into a store and use the credit card at the store rather than online to get those points for memberships or whatever. I don't know why you see I'm scrolling this BlogSpot page. It actually goes back quite a bit on the closings. I mean, you can clearly see like how many stores have been. I would be nice to see a percentage of how many stores have ended up being closed, but as you see, the last date here is April, June 2017. So I'm kind of wondering if that store that closed over here is in this list. Closed in this area. Oh, there it is right here. Westlake, Racker Park. So, with that said, so if you don't know what a prestige store is a store that meets certain sales goals and among other goals they may have. It is a title issued quarterly to each store, and so if they don't get it the next quarter, they lose that status. Now the problem is, it is probably putting some fear into some management where they realize, well, if we don't get prestige status next quarter, we might be on the chopping block next. Originally, I had the theory that they were going to also close stores with proximity. Like, for example, there's a city near here called Elyria, and there are 2 GameStops literally 5 miles from each other. One at a mall and the other at a shopping center. And if you don't know, kids, a mall is an indoor shopping center. So anyway, I'm surprised they're both in existence. Luckily for the one store that I expected to close, they had hit prestige before they started cutting stores loose. So, and they've been keeping it. So, you know, I'm kind of happy for that because I actually like the manager at this. I actually enjoy the manager of both the Illyria stores immensely. So then, found out from the GameStop conference or the GameStop Expo last year that they were going to separate or create categories for each store, specializing in different areas, such as PC, retro, and then, you know, a lot bigger in the Think Geek. And they actually had a store in the Brooklyn area here of Ohio that was actually a test bed, and it was a half Think Geek, half GameStop store. After some changes later last year, earlier this year, that store is now just an all GameStop store with Think Geek sprinkled in again. They've gone back on those plans. They're not going to categorize the stores anymore. It looks like that's just been, you know, we're not doing that now, is what they're saying. So that is basically where we are. I feel like it's only going to get worse. the fact that I think I go back to it. Yeah, so there's a little bit of up price, but I feel like it was a holiday thing. Because I mean, you expect things and they don't happen, and this is where we are now. But every prediction I had and every rumor I heard that from reliable sources was straight on. And it's a sad day because I actually like GameStop, but here's the kicker: Best Buy is also closing stores. One of the stores here, again in Elyria, is closing in March. And the mall, which is called the Midway Mall, you can look it up. There's recently a video on it's considered a dead mall now, the 25% occupancy. There is little hope for the Midway Mall area, which I don't know. It feels bad because which is funny. Best Buy occupies a space where Woolworths used to be. Things aren't going great for GameStop. I'm not gonna lie. I actually expected maybe more closures at the end of last year, but it looks like 2020 is going to be a tough year, especially when game companies aren't going to give as much physical content, let alone even access to digital content anymore. So that kind of sucks. And what even sucks more is the digital content got people in the door and maybe got them to buy something additionally. GameStop doesn't make any money on it. That is probably why you will see, like, one of the biggest things I had to deal with this holiday season was people going, okay, this game is on sale for blank at this store. How come the digital version is still full price? Well, it's because the company, whatever company is GameStop or otherwise, can lower the price of the physical product because they actually get a markup. But the companies that make these games keep them at that same marked up price, and they don't got to share any of it with the stores. So that's why you don't see sales on that stuff unless it's from the actual distributor. Like Nintendo had a huge sale this holiday season with up to 70% off, and I think they're running one right now for some big name games for like 20 or 30% off. But it was a fantastic sale, and stores cannot compete with that digital type of sale online. And yes, they were digital sales online. Again, dealing with physical, stores can take a hit, but digital they can't discount. Unless they do something like what they do from the Switch's release, they throw a gift card in for the store, and then they're taking a hit on something they're making money on in the first place, which seems super dumb to me. But I don't run these companies, although I feel like maybe I'd run them better. Please don't hire me, GameStop. I don't want to try. With that said, go ahead and check out these two links in the description. You can see for yourself what's closing, and hit up your GameStop if they're liquidating, because great sales. I have friends who posted pages of just all the buys they got, and it was crazy. So thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe.
Thank you for checking out our content. Before you leave, please remember to click like and then subscribe. If you want to receive notifications, do not forget to enable them by clicking on the bell. Then afterwards, check out our social media at HaslageNet and our website at haslage.net.